A new study finds ChatGPT outperforms doctors when it comes to diagnosing disease. Welcome back to the AI Daily Brief Headlines Edition, all the daily AI news you need in around 5 minutes. Here's a really interesting study published in Science Daily today. Does AI improve doctors' diagnoses? Study puts it to the test. This study came out of UVA Health and took 50 physicians, of whom half were randomly assigned to use ChatGPT Plus to diagnose complex cases, with the other half relying on more conventional methods, including using medical reference sites. The researchers then compared the results to each other as well as to ChatGPT alone. So what actually happened? Well, doctors using ChatGPT Plus slightly outperformed the physicians using conventional methods. Still, it was very close. Diagnostic accuracy for the doctors using ChatGPT Plus was 76.3%, while the conventional approach physicians was 73.7%. The ChatGPT test group also apparently reached their diagnoses slightly more quickly, about 45 seconds faster. That said, when ChatGPT Plus was tasked with making the same diagnoses alone, its accuracy was more than 92%. Does this mean that ChatGPT is unreservedly better, and that we should just be turning over everything to robot doctors? Not necessarily. This is a controlled setting, and in real life, the researchers caution that there are many other aspects of clinical reasoning that come into play, especially as they write in determining downstream effects of diagnoses and treatment decisions. Still, the fact that ChatGPT alone outperformed the doctors using ChatGPT suggests to some that doctors need better training on how to use these tools. Study lead Andrew Parsons said, "Our study shows that AI alone can be an effective and powerful tool for diagnosis. We were surprised to find that adding a human physician to the mix actually reduced diagnostic accuracy, though improved efficiency. These results likely mean we need more formal training in how best to use AI." Moving over to AI giant Nvidia, some concerning news for the company recently. According to the information, Nvidia has asked suppliers to change the design of server racks multiple times to deal with an overheating issue. The Blackwell GPUs overheat when connected together in server racks designed to hold up to 72 chips. Nvidia refused to comment on whether an updated design has been finalized. Still, this is extremely late in the production process to be making such major changes. Reportedly, Nvidia hasn't alerted customers to any delays related to the redesign. A company spokesperson told Reuters, "Nvidia is working with leading cloud service providers as an integral part of our engineering team and process. The engineering iterations are normal and expected." Basically a non-answer denial. This is unfortunately for Nvidia not the only issue with Blackwell. In August, the company discovered a design fault that impacted manufacturing yields and delayed the release by at least a quarter. CEO Jensen Huang has recently claimed the Blackwell units would begin shipping in Q4, but with just 6 weeks remaining, Nvidia could be cutting it close to hit that target. Over in adoption land, ESPN is testing an AI-generated sportscaster on their Saturday college football show, SEC Nation. Named Facts, the Gen AI avatar is intended to promote, quote, education and fun around sports analytics. Writes The Verge, "We haven't seen the avatar in action, but it sounds like a bodified version of stats encyclopedia Howie Schwab, who was ESPN's first statistician." ESPN had already gone deep on AI, adding AI-generated game recaps to their website back in September. The feature was used to expand coverage of less followed sports like women's soccer and lacrosse. Commentary at the time focused on the gaffes, including a failure to recognize the occasion of a player's retirement game, as well as bland commentary, but that's sort of to be expected as these things roll out. Anticipating backlash around this, ESPN made clear that the avatar is absolutely not made to replace journalists or other talent writing. Facts is designed to test innovations out in the market and create an outlet for ESPN analytics data to be accessible to fans in an engaging and enjoyable segment. Lastly today, a fun one. A UK telco is taking a novel approach to using AI to reduce fraud. Mobile phone carrier O2 has introduced a voice-enabled chatbot they're calling the AI Granny to waste scammers' time. Trained to mimic an elderly woman, the chatbot engages in rambling discussion, keeping scammers online for as long as possible. Nicknamed Daisy, the AI Granny can feed fake bank details to the scammers to keep them interested while going on long tangents about knitting, the weather, or her cat. The chatbot isn't for use by customers, it's being deployed directly on the phone network and used to answer calls from a list of serial scam numbers. Introduced to mark International Fraud Awareness Week, O2 claims the chatbot has kept numerous fraudsters on calls for 40 minutes at a time. The Verge's Tom Warren writes, "Best use of AI yet?" And he might not be wrong. That, however, is going to do it for today's AI Daily Brief Headlines Edition. Next up, the main episode.